My name is Mansfield. I was in my early 30s when the man I loved told me, over the phone, that distance had helped him realize I wasn't enough. 3 years earlier, Ethan and I had met online. He lived several states away in a busy inland city and worked in marketing. I lived near the coast with a stable job in tech. We started casually, talking about hiking trails, terrible indie movies, and places we wanted to travel someday. Within months, we were exclusive. And I was all in. Long distance was difficult, but I believed that if two people were serious, effort could bridge almost anything. So I became the person who made the effort. Every other weekend, I drove nearly 8 hours to see him. When I could afford it, I flew. I sent his favorite coffee beans when he was stressed and ordered books he mentioned once in passing. I even turned down a promotion because it required relocating farther away. At the time, it felt romantic. Now, I understand that sacrifice stops being romantic when only one person keeps making it. I still remember one winter visit. I drove through a brutal storm and arrived soaked, carrying Thai food from the restaurant Ethan loved. He pulled me inside laughing. Later, curled beside me, he whispered, "You're my rock, Mansfield." I believed him. Then things began changing. At first, subtly. Cancelled weekends, shorter calls. I need space. Work is crazy. I'm exhausted. His social media started filling with captions about adventure. Sometimes you outgrow what feels familiar. Life begins outside your comfort zone. Then came Jade. She was part of a hiking group he joined. At first, she was simply, "This woman from the trail group." Then she became, "Jade is hilarious." Then, "Jade is such a free spirit." Then I saw the photograph. Ethan and Jade stood together at a mountain viewpoint, her arm around his waist, his around her shoulders. Caption, "Living on the edge with the best adventure partner." I asked him about it carefully. He laughed. "You're being paranoid. I'm just asking. Distance is making you overthink everything." So I swallowed the discomfort. Because loyal people sometimes become very talented at explaining away disloyal behavior. 6 months ago, everything finally broke. It was a Tuesday evening. I had just finished work and had booked Ethan a ticket to visit me that weekend. Then he called. "Mansfield, we need to talk." No warmth. No teasing. My stomach tightened. "What happened?" A pause. Then he said, "Distance has made me realize you're not enough for me anymore." I actually thought I had misheard him. "What?" "You're stable. Reliable. But everything with us feels predictable." He sighed. "I need excitement." Then came her name. Jade showed me that. My fingers tightened around the phone. What exactly happened with Jade? "We connected." "Connected how?" He hesitated. "Emotionally for a while. And physically." Another pause. "Recently." There it was. I stared at the dark reflection of myself in my apartment window. "So, you cheated." "I'm ending things now." He snapped. "Don't make this dramatic." Then he told me Jade made him feel alive, that she planned spontaneous adventures, that I was too comfortable with ordinary life, that our relationship had started feeling like an obligation. 3 years, 8-hour drives, money, career choices, lonely weekends, an obligation. Part of me wanted to scream. Another part wanted to ask what I could change. Then something inside me became very quiet. "Okay." He paused. "That's it? If that's how you feel, we're done." His tone changed, almost disappointed. "Well, I guess that's mature. Don't count on us being friends." I hung up. Then I canceled his ticket, blocked his number, removed him from every social account, deleted the photographs. That night hurt more than I admitted. But underneath the humiliation, something new appeared. Resolve. I had spent 3 years arranging my life around Ethan. Now I was going to find out what happened when I arranged it around myself. And while I was rebuilding, Ethan's exciting new adventure with Jade was already heading toward a cliff neither of them could see. The first few days after Ethan's call were ugly in a quiet way. I didn't smash anything. I didn't call him drunk at 2 in the morning. I didn't send Jade messages or stalk their pages looking for proof that I had been replaced. I just sat with the humiliation. That was almost worse. His words kept replaying. Not enough. Predictable. Too comfortable with ordinary life. For a while, I let those words crawl under my skin. Maybe I had become boring. Maybe I had confused loyalty with compatibility. Maybe all those 8-hour drives had looked pathetic from his side. Then I remembered Christmas. The previous year, I had saved for months to fly Ethan to my city. I decorated my apartment with the warm white lights he liked, cooked dinner from scratch, and bought him the hiking watch he had been staring at online. That night, he hugged me and whispered, "No one has ever loved me like this." Now apparently, love had become an obligation. That memory helped something click into place. I had not failed because I was stable. He had simply stopped valuing what stability cost me to provide. The first thing I did was cancel the ticket I had bought for his visit. The refund hit my account 3 days later. I used part of it for a gym membership. Then I started running every morning along the coast. At first, I was terrible. Half a mile in, my lungs burned. But every morning I went a little farther. The ocean became the place where I stopped arguing with a man who wasn't there. At work, I finally asked about the promotion I had turned down months earlier. My manager blinked. "You sure?" "Yes. You said relocation flexibility was a problem before." "It isn't anymore." 2 weeks later, the position was mine. Better salary, more control over my schedule, and ironically, more opportunity to travel. I started hiking alone too. At first, that felt almost petty. Ethan had told me Jade gave him adventure, so I worried that every trail I took was secretly about proving something. Then one weekend, I camped alone beneath a clear mountain sky and realized I hadn't thought about either of them for almost 6 hours. That was the first moment I knew I was actually healing. 3 months after the breakup, a mutual friend named Emily texted, "Hey, thought you should know things with Ethan and Jade blew up." I stared at the message. I should have ignored it. Curiosity won. "What happened?" Emily replied almost immediately. "Jade got arrested." I actually laughed once because the sentence sounded absurd. Then the details came. Jade wasn't simply an adventurous woman with spontaneous energy. She had been running fraudulent investment schemes connected to extreme travel packages, private expeditions, group tours, exclusive investment opportunities tied to supposedly upcoming adventure retreats. People sent money. Trips never happened. Returns never appeared. And Ethan had invested too. A lot. Apparently, Jade convinced him that they could build a travel business together. He poured most of his savings into it. Then, investigators started asking questions. Jade disappeared for a few days. Police found her. Fraud charges followed. Ethan was left with almost nothing. His performance at work collapsed. He missed deadlines, had emotional breakdowns. Eventually, he lost the job. Several friends distanced themselves because they didn't want to be dragged into the mess. I didn't celebrate. But I won't pretend the irony escaped me. The safe, predictable woman he discarded was getting promoted and hiking mountains. His thrilling upgrade was facing prison. I went back to my life. Then, about a month later, an unknown number texted me. "Mansfield, it's Ethan. Can we talk?" Blocked. Another number appeared 2 days later. "I messed up. Please." Then the voicemails started. The first sounded ashamed. Jade wasn't who I thought she was. She lied about everything. "I lost money. I lost my job. I know I hurt you. I see now how good you were to me." I deleted it. The next was more desperate. "We had something real. Please just hear me out." Then his mother called. I hadn't blocked her because she had never contacted me before. "Mansfield, this is Ethan's mother." Her tone immediately irritated me. "He's going through the worst period of his life, and you're ignoring him." I said nothing. "You were together for years. You owe him some compassion." "Owe him?" "Yes. Be an adult about this." I hung up. Blocked her too. Emily tried next. Just talk to him once. He's saying you were the one. I didn't answer. Then Ethan showed up at my office. Reception called upstairs. There's a man here asking for you. I knew before they said his name. I considered having security remove him immediately. Instead, curiosity made me go downstairs. I chose a conference room with glass walls and left the door open. Witnesses, boundaries. He looked terrible. Red eyes, unshaven, clothes wrinkled from a long drive. Mansfield. What do you want? His eyes filled immediately. I drove all night. That wasn't necessary. I needed to see you. He sat down. Jade ruined me. I stayed standing. She lied. She took everything I had. I thought she was exciting, different, but it was fake. I said nothing. Then he looked directly at me. You were real. There it was. Suddenly, the qualities he had mocked sounded valuable again. Stable, loyal, kind. His voice cracked. I was an idiot. Yes. He blinked, clearly not expecting agreement. I want another chance. No. Mansfield, please. No. I'll move here. No. I'll do anything. I crossed my arms. This is not my emergency. His grief shifted into disbelief. You don't care that I lost everything? I care that you're a human being going through something difficult. Hope flashed in his face. I finished the sentence. But I'm not your partner anymore. His expression hardened. So, you're just going to leave me like this? You left first. That's cruel. No. I opened the conference room door wider. It's consistent. He stared at me. Leave now, or security will help you. He stood abruptly. You used to care. I did. Past tense. He walked out. That night, 3 angry voicemails arrived from new numbers. He called me heartless, cold, selfish. He said I would regret choosing my boring little life. That last one made me smile, because my boring little life had never felt better. And 6 months after the breakup, Ethan was going to make one final attempt to pull me back into his chaos. This time, I wouldn't even have to raise my voice. 6 months after Ethan ended our relationship, my life no longer looked anything like the one he had walked away from. The promotion had settled into something real. I was leading larger projects, traveling more, and finally using the flexibility I had once refused because I was afraid of putting more distance between us. The irony wasn't lost on me. I had also moved into a new apartment with a view of the river. Nothing extravagant, just clean lines, quiet mornings, and no memories attached to the walls. I had even started dating casually. Nothing serious, just enough to remind myself that conversations could feel easy, that attraction didn't have to come wrapped in anxiety, and that being wanted didn't require me to spend 8 hours driving towards someone who was slowly backing away. Then one afternoon, I stopped at a coffee shop near my office. It was part of my routine by then. Same corner table, same dark roast, same 15 minutes of peace before heading back upstairs. I was halfway through answering an email when someone stopped beside my table. Mansfield? I looked up. Ethan. For a second, I wondered if the meeting was actually accidental. Then I noticed how carefully he was dressed. Clean shirt, hair styled. The kind of effort people make when they expect to be seen. A mutual acquaintance, Emily, was sitting 2 tables away. She noticed him too. Perfect. Witnesses again. Ethan gave me a nervous smile. Fancy seeing you here. I closed my laptop. What do you want? His smile faltered. Can I sit? You already are. He had pulled out the chair before I answered. He leaned toward me. I've hit rock bottom. I said nothing. Jade's in jail. I already knew. The fraud charges stuck. I'm buried in debt. I still don't have steady work. A lot of people stopped talking to me after everything came out. His eyes were red, not from crying that moment, from exhaustion. Then he looked at me like I was something valuable he had misplaced. Seeing you again made me realize what I lost. I almost laughed. Months earlier, I had been too ordinary, too stable, too predictable. Now apparently, I was rare. You were solid, he said. You were real. I took a sip of coffee. I know. He blinked. I was wrong when I said you weren't enough. Yes. Again, he seemed surprised that I wasn't making his confession easier. I thought excitement was everything. Jade made everything feel spontaneous. Alive. And? And it was chaos. He swallowed. You gave me stability. No, Ethan. He frowned. I gave our relationship effort. He looked down. There's a difference. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Then he leaned closer. We can try again. No. I'll move here. No. I'll get another job. No. I'll change. I set my cup down. You're still not understanding. His expression tightened. I'm trying to apologize. No. You're trying to return to the safest place available now that the exciting one collapsed. That's not fair. It's exactly fair. Emily glanced toward us from the other table, then quickly looked back at her drink. Ethan lowered his voice. I need you. Those words once would have broken every boundary I had. Now they barely moved me. I don't. His face crumpled. Don't you care at all? I thought about the question, then answered honestly. Not in the way you want me to. He recoiled as if I had slapped him. I continued. Your betrayal taught me something I should have learned much earlier. What? My worth isn't tied to how useful I am when someone else's life falls apart. He stared at me. I took the promotion I passed up for you. His eyes dropped. I traveled to the places we used to talk about. Mansfield. I hiked alone. I built new friendships. I created a life I actually like. He shook his head. You're different. Yes. Cold. No. I smiled faintly. Clear. The anger finally appeared. What happened to the woman who used to drive 8 hours just to see me? She learned. From me? Unfortunately. He leaned back. I could see him searching for another angle. Then desperation turned into something softer. Was none of it real to you? That question almost made me sad. Almost. It was very real. His eyes brightened. But real things can still end. The hope disappeared. I continued. You chose Jade because you believed I wasn't enough. I was wrong. Yes. Then why can't we fix it? Because your regret came after the consequences. He stared at me. I needed to lose everything before I understood. That may be true. I stood. But that lesson belongs to you. His eyes widened. You're just going to walk away? I already did 6 months ago. I picked up my laptop. Ethan's voice rose slightly. You think you're better than me now? I stopped. No. I looked at him carefully. I think I'm better without you. That silenced him. Emily looked directly at me now. She mouthed 2 words. Good for you. I nodded slightly. Then Ethan whispered, Please. I looked at him one final time. You called my loyalty boring. You called my consistency an obligation. You told me distance proved I wasn't enough. His face tightened. And you were right about one thing. What? Distance did reveal something. I stepped back from the table. It revealed that I was giving far more than I was receiving. His eyes filled. I felt no satisfaction, no rush, no revenge, just peace. You're not part of my life anymore, Ethan. Mansfield, you're a lesson. I turned toward the door. Behind me, he said. You'll regret being this cold. I stopped only long enough to look over my shoulder. I'm not cold. I smiled. I'm finally warm somewhere else. Then I walked out. That night, a final stream of messages came through from another number. Apologies. Anger. Begging. One last insult. I blocked all of them. And that was it. Jade remained in the legal mess she created. Ethan had to rebuild the life he had gambled away. And I kept living mine. Not because karma had punished him, not because the person he chose turned out worse, but because I finally understood the most important reversal of all. I had spent years asking whether I was enough for him, After he left, I learned to ask a better question. Was he enough for the life I wanted? The answer was no. And once I understood that, I never looked back.